on Y in the Morning. We started the day with me just giving you kind information, like do with it what you may, but that Manchester United, we are very valuable. Yeah, we're the second most valuable team in the Premier League. Don't ask me about position. Don't listen to James John by there on all social media platforms who's going to talk about Chelsea till the world ends, which is probably tomorrow. Don't listen to him. Sawa, listen to what I am saying. Hashtag is Y in the Morning. But I'm happy. It's a great day to be great, and it's a beautiful day to be beautiful. My name is Valentine, or at Columbia and everything. And this is Y in the Morning. Yes, we have just gotten done with Y Interactive, and now we're stepping into Empowerment Cafe. And this is just basically a platform where we can celebrate phenomenal people who do phenomenal things. And I believe and trust that if you, I don't, ingekuwa website tunge bookmark, but just listen and then go listen to it again and again and download it so you can listen to it when you're off bundles or things. Just listen. I don't know why I'm preempting you, but she sounds so amazing in the couple of seconds that we've interacted. I cannot wait for that wisdom to spill onto you. Mpenzi mtazamaji. Without further ado, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Oh, very well, thank you.
You had to think about it. Are you sure you're okay?
Oh, yes.
Before you get to your name, I see you're wearing something very interesting. So what is that on your shoulder?
Oh, great. This is the National Heroes. I am glad to have been nominated and to have been awarded the Mashuja. So I am a Shuja.
Hey.
And being a Shuja, I was awarded this Mashuja 2025.
Okay.
It means that you have done something that is worthy and the country is celebrating you and the country is acknowledging you. I was celebrated, nominated and acknowledged in business for talking about business ethics, telling my fellow business people that ethics is important. You need to be ethical for your business to grow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now that you know she's important, okay, now that you know that part, we can get down to her name. What is your good name?
My name is Fatuma, Fatuma Elmaawy. God now, yes, Fatuma Elmaawy. You know, the funny thing is, as Muslims, you just say your name and your father's name, then you don't go to...
You don't continue, but you can continue. It's okay, it's okay. Feel free to... This is all about you, and clearly there's a lot to say and to celebrate. So what exactly did you do, and what kind of businesses would you say that you speak into? SMEs, would they be larger scale, would they be international, would they be local? So kind of what's your niche?
Okay. To be honest with you, my niche, okay, I train, number one, I am a trainer, okay? But before I became a trainer, I was in business development.
Okay.
In fact, one of the things that I'm most proud of, I was the first Kenyan to head an international airline here in Kenya.
Wow.
I was in Kenya, I am a Kenyan, but I was paid like an expatriate in Kenya.
Wow.
Now, I realized that I needed to bring service levels up to par. And the service levels were not up to par. So I started training my people, and that is how I got into training. I liked it so much that I actually left my job. When I left my job, I wanted to start a school, which I did to some extent. And then I was approached by a friend of mine. We needed to train Kenya Airways at that time. So we did. And then I became a trainer for the World Bank, that is the International Finance Corporation. And basically, we were to train SMEs to scale their businesses, for them to be bigger. When I was training, people would come after the class and say, "Madam, everything that you're telling us is so good. I mean, like, it's spot on. But I'm not able to grow my business because I need to give this, and I need to give that, and I need to give that." That is when I came, how do you say, it came right into my face about unethical business practices, about corruption. And not everybody in Kenya is corrupt, but many people don't know or are unable to do the right thing.
Okay.
So when an organization called SIPE came to Kenya, I decided to join in, and the idea is that we train So I train startups, I train SMEs, and I train the bigger boys on ethical business practices.
Okay.
Purely private sector. Now, when we go and we talk to CEOs and we talk to the big boys, they would tell you, I'm not corrupt, so why do I need to attend your class? The issue here is, and I want to talk directly to CEOs and to business owners, you may not be corrupt, but are you 1,000% sure your people are not?
Oh, wow.
You see, originally, corruption used to be at the top, CEOs, owners, but corruption is clever. It has moved lower. So now, it may not be the CEO, the CEO may be clean, but at middle level.
Management.
People who sign checks, yes, management. People who do procurement, people who do hiring. That is where the challenge is, and that is where I train.
Okay, okay. I was trying to imagine a couple of examples when you were insinuating, you're trying to say it without saying, yeah, but assuming nimefikiria business ya Smoky, nimefikiria something that I can relate to, something I can see, and then maybe work our way around it as a business, you know. So let's say niko na matatu already. There's this notion or allegation now, mutenda investigative journalism, tengeneze hapo conclusion, but the allegation is, you know, they have to pay X amount of money, either it's in the morning or in the evening on their particular route. I don't know if they change routes. I don't know if they're allowed to change routes, you know. There was a time we were informed, kama abiria, like if this guy is over speeding, call this number. Do not allow someone, you're there, I know he's in control, he's literally on the driver's seat, but don't allow. Also, lori nonanga po nyuma, if this person is not behaving accordingly, or even other public service vehicles like buses, if this is not going in accordance with our ethics, please let us know. So in it as a business, are there more things externally than inside? For example, mini makanga, so neza beba excess, najua vizuri sana sifai. Yeah, so are the issues more internal or external?
Actually, the issues are both, because where we're internally, you did something wrong, isn't it? So you want to give in order to be allowed ile mistake yako iende. So the challenge is actually both ways. And to be honest with you, it's not just about the public sector. They are what we call the demand side of corruption.
Oh.
But the private sector, we are the supply side. Sindi tunatoa. We are the ones who give. So
crazy.
You can't just point fingers at the government, and if I point like this, these three are looking back at me. Now, what we are saying precisely, the private sector, we are the supply side. You need first to look internally before you look externally. As I was saying, when we went to the bosses and we wanted to train their people, they actually were saying, no, we are not corrupt. As an organization, we are good. And that is when I realized, you know what, there's a problem here. You can't solve a problem if you don't acknowledge that you have a problem. And that is when we started the Africa Business Ethics Conference. So the conference, we are now 6 years, brings together private sector, of course, stakeholders. We bring the media, we bring the government as well, in an environment where we sit together and we say, look, tuko na shida, we have a problem here, what can we do? Together. It's not about politics, it's not about shouting, it's not about For one simple reason. Unethical business practices makes you, how do you say, not competitive because your costs become higher. Corruption increases cost of business by over 20%.
Oh, wow.
Now, if you are that expensive, who will buy from you? You and I are getting, but what we are looking at is long-term sustainability of our businesses. We need to build the foundation so that businesses can grow. Now, the Africa Business Ethics Conference does that. We look at what can we do. What are the low-hanging fruits that can make us, for example, register your business? A lot of businesses are not registered. Now, if you don't register your business, how do you expect to grow?
Yeah.
You know, we start from that. This year, what we are saying, and the conference, by the way, you're most invited. I will send an invitation.
Thank you.
This year, it's on the 10th of December, the Anti-Corruption Week. And we are saying, let's again sit together. We've already discussed enough. What can we do? What can you even do? What can I do? What can another business do? So that we are able to discuss about ethics. We are able to discuss how we can overcome corruption and how we can reduce the supply. Remember, we are the supply side. They will ask, si mtoto kila siku anaitisha, but you don't always give, do you?
Na kitaka pia wembe unaambiwa umpe. So, okay. I have a question for you. As a trainer, would your discourse kind of change when you addressing people in the private sector versus public servants? Would you use different lingo? Would you be emphasizing more on some things and not on others? I'm trying to be diplomatic. Yeah. Would you?
Okay. You say the same thing. Okay. But maybe the route to get there, the language. And what do I mean? It's not just about public and private, because I normally train mostly private. The only public that I have trained, I believe, is I did EACC, that is the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. We also trained them.
Wow.
They needed to see
So impressive.
the private sector angle of corruption. Now, the idea of language is not because this one has more Kizungu than the other one. The idea here is, how can I communicate with you in a way that it makes sense to you? That is how language differs.
Okay. Sounds like if you're talking to a toddler, it's kind of okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So again, now before we move past this, you said there's the week. So what's happening during that week? It's just a conference, or there are other activities?
Normally, the government has their own. You have development partners like the United Nations, the Global Compact, that will do something. You'll have the UNODC do something. As I keep on repeating, ours is purely private sector, because the private sector need to understand that you are in business for longevity. You are in business for long term. So if you don't put your foundation properly, long term may not be there. You want your business to grow beyond you, so that it can outgrow you. That's what we are doing. And of course, we have seen a lot of companies leaving Kenya. Why? We need to, as a government, and this I'm talking to the government, why? Is it because the environment in Kenya is not good? Is it because we have a lot of challenges? Because Kenyans, I mean, I've traveled all over Africa. Men, we have a good workforce. We are very well educated. We are very, very hardworking. So you would expect everybody to come to Kenya. Why would people want to go away to other countries? So that's a subject of discussion, and that's a subject of research.
Okay.
What we will be doing on the 10th is we are calling the stakeholders, a few stakeholders. We will sit together and we are going to ask each other, okay, now that we have spoken about ethics, we have spoken about corruption, what are we going to do? What is collective action? You see, corruption, by the way, we lose almost 7.9% of our budget to corruption.
Wow.
Can you imagine over 600 billion Kenya shillings? Can you imagine what that money could do to this country? How many hospitals, how many schools, you know, it can do that. So what we are saying is, the conference last year, everybody came up and said, we need to band together. Mtu moja hawezi fanya. Waswahili wanakuambia kidole moja haiwezi. You need both. We need government, we need private sector. But before we go to government, can ask the private sector, sit together and look at what are the things that collectively, together, we can do. And then we invite the government and we work together.
Okay. Sounds like a very well thought out plan. This is very heavily curiosity on my part, yes. So now that you have traveled all over Africa, and we have, okay, wacha tu ni kuingize private joke, okay, not really joke, but private conversation. Just before we went on air, we're talking about Pan-Africanism, and I listened to, we're the great, but PLO Lumumba made a statement that kind of stuck with me. How many African nations, 33 currencies in Africa alone, but none of them can be used to conclude any international deal. Like if I go with a Kenyan shilling, they'll look at me funny because what is this? Yes, use dollar, use euro, use pound, etc., etc. But 33 currencies in Africa alone, but not one can we literally take to the bank as big girls and big boys. What does that say about our governments? But aside from that, when we look at Africa and its, I want to call it a struggle to kind of find itself still, I see countries like Traoré, Burkina Faso, you know, they're making moves. And there's a lot, we had the G20 summit in South Africa, which Trump did not attend, by the way, but the summit continued and sounded successful, according to findings. But how can we tell what other countries' private sectors look like? Or, yes, comparison is a thief of joy, but who are we closest to?
Okay. You see, for Pan-Africanism to take place, I know the late Kwame Nkrumah and Nyerere really wanted us to have it. And I must say, we have also tried as Africa because we are trying to move to the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which we have worked with. Now, part of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement is we should have a common currency. You see, Europe trades with each other by over 70%. Africa trades with each other by less than 20%.
Wow, and we have literally almost all the raw
We
materials.
don't trade, and yes, you'd find something goes to Europe, then comes back to Africa. So the SCFTA wants to solve that. One of the things that we're going to do is also to have a common currency. So it is in the pipeline. The one thing that we are not doing, you see, business is between people. Business is never between governments or between companies. It's between people. Today, you would do business with someone you know and someone you trust. So if there is no trust, and what we are talking about is about enabling and creating that trust. SCFTA, we must have trust that if I take my goods to Ghana or to Nigeria, I will be paid.
Okay.
And the Nigerian or the Ghanaian or the Cameroonian also needs to trust I will send the right thing that I need to send. So hapo kidogo tuko na shida, and that is where we need to work on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have, I want to say caveats for other people? Okay, obviously, yes, in terms of the law and tax and everything, but is it generally easy for an African to come into Kenya to start a business versus someone else from the West or any other place? Is one easier than the other, or is it just generally the same?
Actually, it's okay. Let me put my other hat. I am the immediate former vice president of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Wow. And one of the things that we used to do is to go and promote trade in Kenya. It is pretty well done by Ken Invest as well. There's criteria for you to come and invest in Kenya. There's criteria that needs to be there. So the laws are there. I mean, laws are there. Everything is there. The issue here is the implementation. When someone comes, how fast is that business facilitated to set up? Are we more slightly difficult? Do we take more time than our counterparts within East Africa? We've heard about a country whereby you can get your trading license in a day.
Wow.
Is it happening here?
I do not think so.
So those are the things. It's about an enabling environment that has to be there.
In our conversation, I've heard the word environment a lot. So what does a healthy environment in the country look like for a business?
Okay. A health environment is where I want to start a business. I go, I get my license. I'm not asked for anything. I go, I give my documents, and I'm given a license. Okay? You make it easy for me. I go and I know this is the amount of money that I have made, and this is the amount of tax that I need to pay. So now, the first one was external, right? This second one is internal. Am I, as Fatuma, prepared to pay? Because I have made so much profit. So will I give Caesar what is due to Caesar's?
Okay.
So we started this conversation, is it external or is it internal? And I would say it is both ways, internal as well as external. I work not with the external, GAVA, ESCC. I work with the internal, making sure that organizations are able to do and to conduct their businesses ethically and do what they are supposed to do. Number one, registering. Okay. Number two, giving Caesars what they have to do. Actually, number two should have been getting the right licenses, you know. Si ati ukiona kanjo, you start running away. You hide your business.
Running battles, honestly.
Running battles because you did not get the right license. And at times, we worked with the Hawkers Association of Nairobi. Sometimes they actually pay a lot more money. To give kitu kidogo every day is so much more expensive than to just go and buy your license.
Oh, wow. We don't really think that. In fact, someone was saying, in case that they find themselves on maybe the wrong side of the law, instead of kuhongana, giving the bribe, they'd rather go to court because you'd find it's even cheaper in court, or you would not even have to pay at all. Like, wow. Hey, sasa watu wa kujua rights. Hashtag is why it's a
And incidentally, sorry to interrupt, this is what EBEC does. Africa Business Ethics Conference does. We sit together with the big boys, but we also sit together with the SMEs, and we actually tell them, you know, when you calculate ikiwa, sorry to say this, utalipa kila siku, na hiyo pesa weke 365, how much are you paying? Via just going and paying for a license.
I don't know. Also, maybe there's, I don't know, an ingrained culture that we feel if we bribe, it will get done faster, and time is money. So I'm assuming, so I'd rather just the one-off, get it over with. But sina kunanga corruption ya siku moja. Huu mwingine siku moja tasikia njaa arudi. Sema, hatukumalizana hiyo siku. Oh, wow.
And they know it. Honestly, they know it. Because they know when mtu wa kuchota. So they will come to you. But as Kenyans, again, you brought a very, very good point. As Kenyans, why does the private sector corrupt? Because they want to stay ahead. They want to win. They want to make things faster. They want to make things easier. Why not just do the right thing? Yes, it will take you longer. Yes, I'm not saying it will be hunky-dory in a day. No. Queue if you have to queue, for God's sake. Pay the license if you have to pay the license. So if you looked at you internally first and you did the right thing internally first, do you know you have armed yourself? Hata huyo mtu external akikuja, you are okay. They come and they ask you, Mama, where is your license? Did you pay for this? Did you pay? Toa license zako. But half the time when they come, you don't have, that is when sasa munaanza kukuwa na hiyo conversation ingine.
I actually know someone, I will not name names or point fingers, but I know someone who has a business. She needs 2 licenses, she has 1. So anytime anaona kanjwa na karibia, lazima afunge duka, akae ndani, wangoje watoke. So very many problems can be just solved with this. Just do the right thing.
Just do the right thing.
Get the right papers.
And also there was a research that was done in 2023. Corruption affects SMEs more by more than 80%. And it favors the bigger boys. Now, as a country, no country grows or, no country grows if you don't have a middle class. Or if you don't have SMEs. You see, the big people, they take their money elsewhere. who spends their money here in Kenya? It's you and I, isn't it? So it is important for the SME to grow, for the smaller businesses to grow, for our economy to have a positive multiplier effect, for the economy of the country to grow.
Okay, all right. I don't know if this is okay. Nalimbiwa nikiwa shule kuuliza sio ujinga. So, NGOs are non-governmental organizations. I'm assuming any organization that has an opportunity to be corrupt, you know, should get your training. So, public sector still, I'm assuming it's not public. It's not public, it's private, I mean. So, have you gone into NGOs, perhaps?
Okay, we train NGOs, we train the big companies, we train the smaller companies. But let me tell you one thing. The most important thing that as Kenyans we must take. You see, there are laws internationally. Hizo ni za kina US na kina UK. But these laws go beyond geographical jurisdiction. When they come to Kenya, you asked me, when they come to Kenya, they will want to work with people that are ethical. Not because wameokoka, so to speak, but because in case, let me assume you are a global company, you have come to in Kenya and you are working with Fatuma. If Fatuma is found to be corrupt, do you know you will be fined in your country?
Wow.
Yes. You will be fined in your country because of the UK Bribery Act, of the US FCPA, which stipulates that you, as an American, as a US, as a French company, should not involve yourself in corruption, and you should also not have suppliers or third parties that are corrupt. And that is why companies like Safaricom are extremely diligent. Wow. Extremely diligent in the people they work with. Actually, we have trained Safaricom, wale M-Pesa, wale distributors, simply because in case of anything, it is the mother company in Europe that gets fined.
Oh, wow.
And this is why it dampens the local SME to grow. Because if the local SME is not ethical, how do you now become a supplier of a company like Safaricom? How do you become a supplier of a big company like Kenya Airways? How do you work with people like Takaful? How do you work with UNGC? How do you work with UNODC?
Okay.
So it comes back to shoot you. A lot of people are not aware though.
I was not aware. So mtu nikienda kutoa pesa akose kunitisha ID, hiyo ni makosa kubwa. Okay, ni makosa already, but makosa kubwa enough to ripple effect all the way up. Or these are just instances of
what is wrong. Uende alafu akwambie uko na documents, akwambie we weka kitu fulani.
Okay, so retract your part ingine, don't focus on that. Okay. All right, now seeing or just hearing about your stories and your experiences, you're very seasoned. Is there more to add on your plate really? You've done it all. When you Shujaa, Bana, certified Shujaa, you clearly put on very many hats. I'm not even sure I can regurgitate vizuri vile nafaa. But yeah, where do you see yourself in this space?
It's about training the youth.
Okay.
And
why
training the youth to live their lives with a purpose. You see, the youth, you have what we never had. Okay? Everything is at your fingertip, which is good, but it's also not so good. Because, and I loved the young man that was here.
James.
You can't just get success, Evo too. So somebody comes, works for a month, and expects to drive, expects a house, expects a this, expects a that. It can't happen. Yes, I agree, you need to work smart, but you also need to work hard. Because working smart, peke yake, is not just about taking shortcuts. At some point, zitakushika huko mbele. You know? So We train the youth on purposeful living. Every human being was created for a purpose on this earth. Beyond kuomba Mungu, beyond that, you have a purpose, I have a purpose, they have a purpose as well. Find out, what is your purpose in life? What can you do in life? And for us, tumefika hiyo, not 6 o'clock, tumefika 8 o'clock. It's about now assisting the youth to live purposeful lives.
Okay. Yeah. Is there a reason why you're very specific with the youth?
I
Or
beg your pardon?
are you drawn to the youth? Why specifically the youth?
The youth is tomorrow.
Wisdom.
The youth is our leader, you know, our leaders. Sisi tunaenda whether you like it or not. So better you leave them well empowered. So empowerment is not just about me. Empowerment is I get as I give.
Okay.
Unaona ile kwa relay. You get and you give.
Yes.
You don't just take the button na unakaa nayo hapo. No. That's not
Hiyo
empowerment.
wisdom ikifikia tu Uganda. Ama I was just clearing my throat, guys. Focus. All right. Ni kama tunaenda kumalizia. Would you like to say your last words maybe, or remind us about the week on December 10th?
I'd like to remind us, we have the Business Ethics Conference. This year, it's actually a very focused stakeholders forum. It's not a big conference like every year. We've invited a number of people from different sectors, media, government. We've invited people. And we want to sit together and focus and tell each other, now that we have reached our 6th year, how does collective action look like? What do we need to do together so that as a private sector, we can now self-regulate, and then we can sit to the government and say, let's do A, B, C, D, E. Because remember, it is about the sustainability and the growth of our country.
All right. I really like that there's an internal first take of stock before now we get to the external, because first you identify unaumia weya wapi. On social media, how can we find you, if that is a platform where we can find you?
Yes, Elmaawy, you can get me. Most important, I would urge people, kindly go to EBEC _Africa. Please read about what we are doing. Many people may not be aware, but as they say in law, ignorance is no defense. So please read about what it can do for you. We share a lot of information there. We tell business people what they can do, and we strengthen businesses by knowing their rights.
Okay. I don't know. Hapo kwa knowing your right, it just feels like every time you outwardly say or you verbalize the fact that you know your rights, you're just about to get into trouble for no reason. But that is a story for another day. Thank you so very much, Fatuma, for coming on the show. I really feel like we've learned something. I told you in the beginning, this one you watch and then you watch again. All right? Yes. Content, no? Exclusive only on Y in the Morning. All right. So let me just remind you guys, that is Africa Business Ethics Conference. That is, you say it so well. Say it again.
10th. It's on the 10th of December.
Say the ABEC again.
ABEC stands for Africa Business Ethics Conference. And by the way, the conference has been held in Lagos. We've held it in Botswana. We were meant to have gone to one of the East Africa countries, but now, hey, we are back in Kenya, and we are going to do a lot of work on collective action.
Ooh, a lot of good things are happening in Kenya. All right, so you've heard it here. Do not miss it. December 10th, mark it on your calendar. In the meantime, please keep it here on Y in the Morning.